What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Let's get back into this old skeezer, Danielle Dozier. Now, I'm gonna try to be nicer in this. I'm not gonna cuss her out too bad, but I'm still gonna get her. I'm still gonna wrap my hands around that hair and drag the bitch, but I'm not gonna do too much. I want to go back to this lifetime where I was the head of the coven and talk about this little girl who I'm going to tell you now. I did love this girl, and she was sold. She did have a soul. She came from me. This was my daughter. Okay, and she was also a not my biological, not physical daughter, because we didn't have children like that then. Children did not drop out of vaginas back then. Okay, but in terms of having light and being of the light, this was my daughter, a soul that I gave birth to when I was up there in that celestial body. Okay. And I did love this little girl, although I knew that she was stupid because of what I saw in her eyes. Like, I knew that she was going to do what she did before she did it, in some way. But it was like all that mind control and the brainwashing from being on the ship and all the dark magic and the orbs that were already accumulating. I didn't see it. I could not see it, or I didn't see it. Or I was blocked from seeing it in some way. Okay? And now you have this little girl who my daughter, absolutely. We got to talk about the contrast now. We have to talk about the contrast from prior to her forfeiting her own soul in order to consume my juices, the juices of mother, which she could not handle. To talk about the contrast between the before and after, before she consumed my particles that was in that trinket, because she was mad because she could not, that incubus was not stunting her. The incubus did not want her at all. Okay, she wanted to feel the dick in her stomach too, and I'm not making any excuse for this incubus, because I still don't want this incubus at all. Okay, let it be known. But she did all of this because that incubus was not stunting her, was not looking at her, did not want her. And I got to tell you how she looked at this time. This was a ragdoll. When we incarnated here into this lifetime, I used to call the bitch Whoopi, and but meaning silly, because that's what she gave then. She gave silly, wearing those rags, and I didn't know why I was calling her Whoopi, because she didn't necessarily look like Whoopi as a child. But this was a pull. This was crossing over from this lifetime where I remembered her in them damn rags. Okay, she looked like a rag doll in this lifetime. Nonetheless, she had her own soul, and she was a cute girl, albeit gullible and naive and stupid, which is what I saw in her eyes, but that is what made her her. Now, if she would have worked on herself, instead of being jealous and trying to steal and doing this dark magic and being the motherfucking help for archons, if she would have worked on herself, see, this girl lost the speck that was in her eye. That's what made her cute. This speck that was in her eye that she no longer has because she forfeited it. If she would have not done what she done, she would have still had that speck in her eye, and that would have made her beyond gorgeous. And she did all this for appearances, for looks, for clothes, for materials, and for dick. That's why she did all this. And without knowing that if she would have just worked on herself, she would have became beautiful. And I'm talking about stunning with that speck in her eye. That she forfeited because she wanted to be mother so bad. Okay? And then we get into this lifetime where that speck is gone. And every bit of the innocence and every bit of that gullible, naive that she was is gone. All that's left is that stupidity. The only thing left is stupidity and that ignorance and that jealousy. Okay? That was the only thing left inside of her. She became very evil and very mean, and like I mentioned, she woke up with an attitude. When she went out and did things, she had an attitude. When she came back, she had an attitude. When she went to sleep, she had an attitude. And there was this brick wall between me and her this whole lifetime, and there was always a brick wall where I felt very awkward around the girl. And that was that bleed over. That was that bleed over coming in from that lifetime where she did that. And she lost that. And I do feel a little bad that the girl did it. The girl lost that speck. That speck that I gave her. I birthed her specifically with that speck. Excuse me. That she forfeited. Because she wanted to be mother. And I think that's why I did it too. I sort of think that's why I gave her that speck. Okay. I'm scanning my energy field. I'm seeing this is wow. Okay, so let's fast forward to now. Let's get into this girl. We that attitude. On top of that, let's talk about Sharita Doja, the soulless, being deathly afraid of this girl because she had my energy in her. Being afraid of this girl. Okay, letting this girl do whatever she wanted to do at the age of 14, 15, having these men in and out the house. And she up in there shacking up, getting that old little, I told you she was up in there, she's a slut. Popping that pussy. That soul trapping pussy at that. The pentagrams. Playing with pentagrams inside of her pussy. And that fish. Bop. Understand what I'm saying? Understand and overstand. To shacking up with these boys. Who the first one? It was the one she should have kept with her dumb ass. His name was Nick, but quite ironically, he was the grandson of the owner of a funeral home. With this death culture and all that, quite ironically. She gonna go on to mess with all these different men, taking after Sharita, dumbass, because they got money, and getting her ass beat the fuck down by the ugliest man, especially that Marcus Meeks, that old ugly thing that she was with. They was just alike. Spitting images of each other, nasty attitudes, walking around the house with that low vibration and those nasty attitudes. Marcus Meeks and Danielle Dozier. And all them other men that she dealt with, except for Nick, maybe. I don't know. But to me, it felt like Nick was the best one she had and the one she should have kept with her stupid ass. Okay. Anyway, and then she did not achieve the goal that she wanted to. She wanted to be beautiful. She wanted to be stunningly beautiful. She wanted to be mother. She wanted to be as beautiful as mother. She could have never been as beautiful. She did all that. She went from a little cute, meek, gullible girl with a speck in her eye to being a mediocre, to being very mediocre with a decent dress game and a nasty attitude. Okay? She forfeited that speck that she should have kept. Okay? That I gave her. That she should have kept. And worked on herself. Because that's what I was teaching. Okay? and watched how she would have grew into the swan that she wanted to be. That karma hit her immediately. As soon as she did what she did, it hit her immediately as she lost that speck, the very thing that was gonna blossom her into the swan. Okay. I think I'm done here. This was wow, getting this down low, and as I said, this is becoming clearer and clearer by the day, by the second, by the minute, and whew. Thank you. Bye bye.